The main reason why I love using Dollar Tree supplies here in my craft room is because it helps me stay on a crafter's budget. In today's episode, we are going to be taking the most random things, bringing them together, and creating high-end farmhouse decor. Now come along and let's make something beautiful for our homes. We're going to be using these supplies: this wood round tray from the Dollar Plus section, this wood round from the craft section, a finial and a spindle from Hobby Lobby, and then this glass jar. Friends, the other day I was here in my craft room and I was looking at this wood tray and I wonder if I could pop that bottom out. And then I realized that I could, and it popped out so easily. I'm gonna just pop it out, sand off some of the glue that's kind of chunked around where it was glued together, and then I'm going to mark it for the width of this circle. We're gonna cut out this middle piece. I was so giddy when I realized that this wood is so easy to cut with these miter shears. Do you see how easily it went through? I have so many ideas now because these trays are so fun to use normally without thinking about taking them apart, but now having a wooden ring that I can get like this. Remember when everyone was making this decor using Hot Wheel tracks and they were trying so hard to get these pieces to come together? We are using actual wood because of this tray, and they can come apart so easily. You can see here that I cut off those pieces that I measured. I'm bringing in that hot glue. On the back side where there's a crevice, I'm going to bring in some wood glue to really bond it and lock it well. And then I'm going to come back in with hot glue again to make sure it's holding very nicely. Now we're going to move on to the top. I'm using the spindle. We're adding hot glue and wood glue, a nice amount, but I always try so hard to not let them collide. The wood glue will cool off the hot glue, so you have to kind of work fast and don't let them touch each other. I put together the spindle with the finial, making the topper of this. And then while that was all drying, the glue was bonding together, I'm now just using some water. I spritz it on top of this tag. These tags on the glass are really stubborn. I know you can use a heat gun, but I personally am not a big fan of using a heat gun on glass. You just never know. You just never know if glass has been tempered or not. I don't want it to shatter on me, so I'm going to just use my scraper and my water. Now I'm going to paint the entire thing black. I didn't show this part because I didn't know I wasn't recording, but I drilled a tiny hole and I took a curtain ring that I took apart and I just put it right inside. I didn't drill all the way through the finial, just a little bit of a entrance for the ring to hook onto. And then I hooked that on. You don't have to do that part, but I really did love that ring, so it's up to you. Now you can see that I'm just doing a little bit of distressing. I'm adding on some cinnamon. I love working with cinnamon in my craft room because it makes my room smell really good. That gives it that rusty look with a little bit of black paint and cinnamon. To finish the look, I'm adding in a wreath, the glass jar, and a candle, and you have a high-end farmhouse piece with the most random Dollar Tree items. We are going to be using all of these pieces from the kitchen area and a couple other random stuff. I've got these plastic bowls, these smaller serving plastic bowls, these cups, this champagne glass, but I'm not using the bottom. I took that part off. A shot glass. I'm also going to be using this napkin ring holder. I told you this is the most random stuff. 2 Christmas balls that I've had forever. I just pulled them out of my Christmas supplies. And then these little party horns from the party section, as well as 2 finial toppers that I get from Hobby Lobby. We're going to bring these together to create this beautiful decor piece that is very popular in Farmhouse, and they're so expensive. I don't know the exact name of this thing. I should probably look it up, but I see these all the time on Antique Farmhouse, and over the years I have actually purchased a couple of them, and I remember paying close to about $70 to get my set. So we're going to be doing ours for pennies because I already had all these random different plastic pieces here in my craft room. I glued the champagne glass and the cup together with E6000 and hot glue. Try to be as meticulous as possible with your glue. The cleaner you are with the glue, the better the product looks in the end. So I'm going to just bring the two bowls together now. I'm going to bring the top of them together, sandwiching them, and then I'm going to put those two bowls on top of the bottom of that cup. Bringing those together is creating the main chunk of our little structure we're building here. Then we're going to bring on the napkin ring holder as well as the round Christmas ornament. I'm going to just add some more E6000 and hot glue. It really bonds these all together very nicely, creating a great structure and support. And then at the very top, we're going to add on the horn. I popped off the little mouthpiece that you blow into. Crazy perfect dimensions. This finial fits inside of the horn perfectly. Now we're going to move on to the second one. We're going to take our cup, we're going to take the bowl, bring those two together, E6000 and hot glue, same steps, same process. Then I brought the two bowls together, just like I did on the first one, by bringing their tops together, and I'm going to put the cup onto the bowls, get that all nice and straight. Really, the trick is with this decor piece is make sure you're getting them all straight. Then you're going to bring on the shot glass upside down. You can see right here, this is how I pop off that little mouthpiece for the noisemaker party toy. Then I'm going to add on the Christmas ornament, the ball, right into the bottom of the shot glass, and then bringing back in that finial into the top of the horn. I put some hot glue and twist it down in there so it stays in nicely. And then I'm going to just put that right on top of the plastic ball. All together, this is what they look like when they are all set. Now, I took them outside and spray painted them white. This particular day, it was so cold outside. Spray painting when there is snow is so hard because it doesn't want to dry. So I ended up having to bring them in. And then my dining room smelled like spray paint. It was a mess. I would not necessarily recommend spray painting during the winter time, but it's what I needed to do for this project. So it ended up being fine. I ended up airing out the room a little bit and we were good. But right now what I'm doing is I'm taking some flour, a tablespoon of flour, and I'm mixing in paint to it. This is going to give us a beautiful texture on this decor piece. It's going to allow us to be able to really conceal all of the cracks between the different pieces, making it one big unit. And it's going to add some texture to it, almost where it has like a stucco or a concrete type feel to it. You make it as chunky as you want it to, but basically go between all the cracks until you've got it all nice as one piece. Now I'm going to come in with some dry brushing with a darker paint color, and then I'm going to come in with a gray, and then I'm going to be very heavy with the white again, because I do want these primarily to be white with a little bit of distressing. While I was working on this, because we had a snow day in school, it got canceled. Miriam was working on a craft. Isn't this so cute? I'll link this kit down below. She loves sewing and doing these little crafts, and they're perfect for her. She's 9. So if you're interested in some kids crafts, go check those out. It's linked down below. Once I got all the paint on these beautiful decor pieces, I can't wait to style these here in my home and use them year round. This project we are going to be using a garden bucket and this metal flower tin. I'm going to start by taking off this rope. I know that this rope could potentially stay if you want to just spray paint around it, but I wanted to use a white nautical rope versus this burlap twine. So I'm going to just take that all off. I'm going to add E6000 and hot glue. I'm going to bring them together, and then today with these two pieces we are going to be making a beautiful garden urn that you can put on your porch, you can put on an entry table, you can put on the floor next to a beautiful piano, wherever you want to put this thing. I envision this being used in a lot of different places, and it is such a nice size decor piece for just a few dollars. This garden bucket and this metal tin each were $1.25. I took them outside once they were bonded together. I spray painted them, and I'm going to give them a little bit of a rustic detail to it. And you go as heavy or as light as you want. I really love the look of cinnamon in the crevices of black spray painted decor pieces. It just has that primitive farmhouse look to it. I think is so pretty. I don't get too crazy with the cinnamon, but I know some people do, and you really like really rusty things. It just depends on your style. If the rust is not for you, then don't do that part either. But I just wanted to show you that when you see these kind of buckets at the Dollar Tree, you can make so many amazing things out of them. Urns, bunnies, I mean, whatever you can imagine. So many serving trays for parties. You could end up making something like this and putting a cloth inside of it and filling it up with rolls at a party. I mean, there are just so many cool things. You can bring these pieces together and make something really substantial with it. So I went around with my rope around the bottom, and now I'm going to create 2 holes on each side of this urn we're making because I wanted to make handles. I really like the idea of the nautical rope being at the bottom and then 2 handles. You can skip this part completely. It's up to you. That's the fun part about crafting. You get an idea, you bring things together, and then you customize them the way you want. I'm using my Big Bite, which is basically my crocodile. It just has a longer reach. I'm using that to punch some holes, and then I'm going to take my rope, and I made sure the hole wasn't too big, but big enough for me to get the rope through. So I'm having to take my pencil and I'm just going to kind of push the edges around it, and then I'm using my pliers on the other side to pull it through to make sure it makes it all the way through. And it's got a nice hold in there. You could pick it up by the rope handles. It's not going to pop out. It's going to hold very nicely. I just think this is so beautiful. You could even make this and put one of those big ferns when they start coming out in the springtime and put this on your front porch. I think a fern would look so beautiful in this, and it's kind of what I have in mind for it for myself. Right now I'm going to just put some florals in it so you can see it with something inside of it to finish the project. But realistically, I'm probably going to put a fern inside of this. I think a fern would look so beautiful on my front porch with this pot. Now I'm going to just glue down those ropes, and I'm going to use a popsicle stick to push them all down into place. And now here's where we're going to bring in the florals. But again, imagine a fern in this for the springtime, going into summertime. I'm going to just bring in a bunch of greenery. I'm going to bring in some pink roses and some cream roses after I got those. And I'm going to check it just to make sure the size of it is looking nice inside the pot. I wanted to make sure you can see what I was doing. I'm going to bring in some salvia, and then I'm going to also put in one big cream peony. And I'm going to avoid putting any glue in this because, like I said, I want to take it out and put a small fern in it for the summertime. But imagine the possibilities of bringing these gardening pieces together to create something beautiful for your home. I truly hope you felt inspired by today's episode, taking random pieces from the Dollar Tree to make beautiful high-end decor pieces. Don't forget, I'm posting on my channel on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Please do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a comment down below, checking in, saying hi. And I'm going to recommend this video right here just in case you missed it. It was from the other day. And until the next episode, bye friends.